As the light of day fades, the city of Rome grows quieter. The sun has slipped below the western hills, long shadows rest across stone streets, the air cools. The warmth held in walls and pavement remains for a while, but it softens with each passing moment. Shops close their wooden doors. Market stalls stand empty. The noise of trade has ended. Voices become fewer. Footsteps slow. Carts are no longer moving through the streets. The dust they raised begins to settle. In many homes, the evening meal has already been eaten. Dishes are simple. Bread, olives, perhaps a bit of cheese. Some families eat in shared rooms. Others sit in small courtyards. Oil lamps are lit as daylight weakens. Their flames are small and steady. They give off a warm glow, but not much light. As night deepens, households prepare for rest. Floors are swept. Doors are secured with wooden bars or simple locks. Curtains are drawn across open spaces. In wealthier homes, servants move quietly, finishing small tasks before withdrawing to their own quarters. In modest dwellings, families share close spaces. Beds are simple. Often they are low frames or padded mats. The streets outside grow still. Most people remain indoors after dark. There is little reason to wander. The city at night is not made for ease of movement. Stones are uneven. Light is scarce. Shadows are deep. A few lamps burn along main roads. Their light falls in narrow circles. Between them, darkness stretches. Doorways fade into shadow. Walls seem taller. Sounds travel farther. A single step can be heard at a distance. A quiet cough echoes between buildings. In apartment blocks, known as insulae, some windows remain faintly lit. A small flame near a window opening signals that someone is still awake. Perhaps a worker returning late. Perhaps a child unsettled by the change of light. These lights do not last long. One by one, they dim and vanish. Above the city, the sky is clear on many nights. Stars appear, slowly and without effort. The moon, when present, gives pale light. It softens edges. Rooflines blur. The city becomes a series of dark shapes resting under the sky. Public spaces are mostly empty. The Forum, busy during the day, lies quiet. Columns stand in rows. Stone steps cool as the air settles. Statues seem still, unchanged by the passing hours. Nothing moves there now. In temples, lamps may burn through the night. Priests have completed their duties. The buildings remain as they are, silent and unmoving. The presence of the gods is assumed, but not actively marked at this hour. Some movement continues at the edges of the city. Night watchmen make their rounds. Their work is slow and routine. They carry lamps or torches. They pause at corners. They listen. Their role is simple: to observe, to remain present, to mark the passing hours. From time to time, a dog barks. The sound carries and then fades. Somewhere, a door opens and closes. Somewhere else, a voice murmurs briefly, then falls silent. These sounds do not disturb the overall quiet. They are part of it. Inside homes, people settle into sleep. The rhythms of the day linger in the body. Muscles rest. Breath slows. The city as a whole seems to breathe more gently now. Time moves without clear markers. There are no clocks to glance at. The night progresses by feel, by the position of the moon, by the length of darkness between lamps, by the stillness of the air. In this way, Roman nights pass steadily, without urgency, held in a balance between rest and quiet watchfulness, as the city remains in place, unchanged, waiting as the hours continue. As the night settles further, the air grows cooler. Stone gives up the last of its stored warmth. Walls feel cold to the touch. The ground no longer holds the heat of the sun. A light breeze moves through narrow streets, passing between buildings without sound. Inside many homes, lamps are turned low or set aside. Oil is precious, flames are kept small, shadows gather in corners, shapes soften. The edge of furniture fades into the dark. What remains visible is simple and familiar. People sleep in light garments or under thin coverings. Windows remain open in some rooms. The night air moves gently through. In other homes, shutters are closed. Darkness becomes complete. Sleep comes in stages. Waking and resting pass back and forth without concern. In larger households, servants rest in shared spaces. Their day has been long, night brings relief. Their sleep is deep and practical. There is little to disturb them. Sounds from the street are distant and rare. The city's water flows quietly. Fountains that served crowds during the day now spill without attention. Water falls into stone basins. The sound is steady. It does not change. It marks time in a soft way. In the distance, the Tiber moves through the city. Its surface reflects faint light. The river does not rest. It passes under bridges. It carries sounds away. It remains a constant presence through the night. Occasionally, someone moves through the streets. A late traveler returns home. A worker begins early labor. Their footsteps are measured. They keep close to walls. They avoid open spaces. Night travel is careful and slow. The watch continues its rounds. The men know the streets well. They pass the same corners each night. They note doors and windows. They listen for unusual sounds. Most nights are the same as the last. Animals adjust to the dark. Cats move along walls and ledges. They are quiet. They know the paths well. Rats move near stored grain. Their sounds are small and brief. They pass unnoticed by most. Above the city, clouds may drift in. Stars fade and return. The moon shifts its position. Light changes slowly. No sudden brightness breaks the night. The sky remains calm. In some rooms, people wake briefly. A thought passes. A sound from the street reaches the ear. Then rest returns. The mind drifts without direction. Dreams are not remembered. The hours continue without announcement. Night in Rome is not filled with activity. It is a pause. A long interval between one day and the next. The city remains present but quiet. In this stillness, the ordinary structures of life stand unchanged. Roads, homes, temples, and walls remain where they were. Nothing presses forward. Nothing draws attention. The night holds its place as time moves on. As the night reaches its middle hours, the city remains settled. Most lamps have gone out. Only a few points of light remain. They mark doorways or corners where watchmen pass. Between them, darkness rests without movement. In taller buildings, the upper rooms are silent. Wooden floors no longer creak. The sounds of shared living have faded. Breathing and sleep fill the space instead. The structure of the building holds steady in the cool air. The streets hold familiar shapes. Stones worn smooth by many years lie in quiet rows. Ruts from carts are visible only where faint light falls. Dust rests undisturbed. Nothing passes to stir it. In private courtyards, water jars stand uncovered. The surface of the water reflects small points of light from the sky. Leaves remain still. Even insects are few. The night is calm enough to feel empty. Some homes belong to those who work before sunrise. Bakers rest now, knowing their work will begin soon. Others sleep without thought of the coming hours. The city allows both kinds of rest. In public baths, the fires have long been extinguished. Pools cool. Steam has vanished. The rooms stand empty. The echo of voices from earlier hours has faded from the walls. Along the riverbank, boats are tied in place. Ropes hold them gently. The water moves past without effort. Reflections shift slowly, then disappear. The river keeps its course. The watch pauses at intervals. A brief exchange of words may pass. Voices are low. They do not carry far. The routine is known and needs little discussion. In some distant room, a lamp may be relit for a short time. Someone wakes and tends to a small task. Perhaps water is poured. Perhaps a window is adjusted. The light does not last. It fades again. The sky continues its slow movement. The moon sinks lower. Shadows change their length. Edges soften further. The city becomes less defined. Time passes without notice. There is no signal to mark it. The night remains steady, holding the city in quiet balance as the hours continue to move. As the later hours approach, the air grows cooler still. Breath becomes visible in brief moments, then disappears. The stones beneath the streets feel firm and cold. The city holds this temperature without change. Inside sleeping rooms, bodies shift slightly. Covers are adjusted. An arm moves. Then stillness returns. Sleep remains light but unbroken. There is no sense of hurry. Morning is not yet near. In kitchens, fires are cold. Ash rests where it fell. Pots sit clean and unused. The smells of the evening meal have faded. Only the faint scent of smoke remains in some spaces. Along narrow lanes, moisture gathers on stone. A thin layer of dampness forms. It reflects faint light where it can be seen. The rest remains unseen, quiet and untouched. Animals in stables stand without movement. Horses lower their heads. Their breathing is slow and steady. They wait without awareness of time. In the larger homes, long corridors remain empty. Columns rise into darkness. Floors stretch ahead without sound. Lamps that once guided steps are now dark. The watch continues, steady and unchanged. Each step follows the last. Corners are checked. Doors remain closed. The night offers no interruptions. Farther from the city center, the quiet deepens. Fields beyond the walls rest under the sky. Paths are empty. Wind passes over grass without sound. The river reflects less light now. Its surface darkens. Movement continues beneath the surface, unseen. It carries the night forward without pause. Somewhere, a rooster stirs but does not yet call. The sound is held back. The city remains within the night. The sky lightens only slightly, almost unnoticed. Darkness still holds. The hours remain suspended as Rome rests quietly, unchanged, waiting without urgency. The night holds its form as the hours move on. The sky remains dark, though its depth begins to soften. The change is slight. It is easy to miss. Darkness still covers the city. Within the walls, most people remain asleep. The quiet is settled and complete. Breathing rises and falls in steady patterns. Dreams pass without notice. Sleep is not measured or timed. It simply continues. In some rooms, a lamp has been left unlit beside a bed. Its shape is familiar in the dark. Hands could reach for it without looking. There is no need. The room remains as it is. The air moves gently through open spaces. It passes across stone floors and along corridors. It carries the faint smell of the river. It brings no sound with it. On rooftops, tiles rest in place. Dew gathers along their edges. The moisture forms slowly. It does not drip. It waits. The watch nears the end of its rounds. Steps remain even. Paths are followed as before. Nothing requires attention. The city offers no demands. In workshops, tools lie where they were left. Wooden benches stand empty. The silence is complete. Work has not yet returned. The form remains unchanged. The wide space holds darkness without interruption. Columns rise, as they always have. The ground beneath them is cool and still. Somewhere near the river, a boat shifts slightly against its rope. The movement is small. The water adjusts and then smooths again. In distant houses, someone turns in sleep. A sound escapes, brief and quiet. It fades at once. The stillness returns. The sky continues its slow change. A lighter tone appears at the edge of darkness. It does not yet bring light. It only marks time passing. The city remains at rest. Night has not released its hold. Rome stays quiet, balanced between darkness and the coming hours, unchanged as the calm continues. Read this text slowly and evenly. Maintain a calm, neutral tone. Avoid emotional emphasis. Pause gently between sentences. The quiet of the city remains steady. The air carries a faint coolness that settles into stone and wood. Nothing moves with purpose yet. The night still holds the streets. In sleeping spaces, the rhythm of rest continues. Breathing remains slow. Bodies remain warm beneath thin coverings. The outside world does not press inward. Walls provide shelter. The dark is familiar. Some windows remain open. A slight draft passes through. Curtains shift only a little, then fall still again. The shapes of rooms remain unchanged. In shared courtyards, water jars collect a fine layer of moisture. The surface of the water is smooth. It reflects nothing clearly. The space is quiet enough to feel empty. The sound of the river continues without variation. It does not grow louder or softer. It marks time in a way that does not demand attention. The watch completes another slow pass. Lantern light moves briefly across stone, then disappears. Footsteps fade. The darkness returns to its earlier form. In smaller streets, the walls feel closer together. The night seems deeper there, corners remain hidden. Nothing emerges from them. In the higher parts of the city, the air is slightly clearer. Rooftops rest under the sky. Dew settles along their edges. The tiles remain dark and still. Somewhere, a household stirs without waking. A sleeper turns. Fabric shifts. The movement ends. Sleep continues. The baths remain silent. Pools are still. The stone floors are cool. The rooms wait for the return of sound and warmth. But not yet. Workshops remain closed. Doors are shut. Tools rest in place. Nothing is prepared. The night has not yet loosened its hold. The sky continues its gradual change. Darkness thins in small degrees. The difference is subtle. It requires patience to notice. Birds remain quiet. No calls break the air. The city listens only to itself. In the distance, beyond the walls, fields remain unseen. Paths lie empty. The land rests as the city does. The streets hold their shape. The stones remain in place. Nothing presses forward. Nothing draws focus. Time moves without signal. The night continues, calm and steady, holding Rome in quiet stillness as the hours pass on. The darkness begins to thin, though it remains present. The change is gradual, it does not announce itself. The city stays quiet, resting in place. In some homes, sleepers shift again. A hand moves. A breath deepens. Sleep loosens slightly, but does not end. The body responds to the slow change in air and light without awareness. Lamps remain unlit. Oil is saved for when it is needed. The rooms stay dim. Shapes are still soft. Edges remain unclear. Along the streets, the cool air lingers. Moisture rests on stone. Footprints from earlier hours are no longer visible. The ground appears untouched. The river continues its steady movement. It reflects a faint, pale tone from the sky. The reflection stretches and breaks, then reforms. The sound remains even. At the edges of the city, the watch slows its pace. The final hours of duty pass without incident. The routine remains unchanged. Nothing requires notice. In storage rooms, grain and tools remain undisturbed. Doors stay closed. The quiet holds firm. In courtyards, plants rest without movement. Leaves remain still. Pots and stones sit as they did before night began. The forum holds the last of the darkness. Its wide space changes more slowly. Shadows remain long. Columns stand without distinction. The sky lightens again, just slightly. The stars begin to fade. The moon, if present, grows less clear. Night still remains, but it's begun to ease. Some animals begin to stir without sound. A shift of weight. A slow movement. No call is made. Inside homes, the calm continues. Sleep remains unbroken. The city does not rush toward the coming day. Time continues its quiet passage. Night holds on, steady and even, as Rome rests without change, waiting as the hours move forward. The sky grows lighter in a way that is barely noticeable. Darkness still covers the city, but it has lost some of its weight. The change moves slowly across rooftops and walls. Nothing responds to it yet. Inside rooms, the air feels cooler near the floor. Warmth remains closer to bodies and beds. Sleep continues in a quiet and steady rhythm. There is no signal to wake. No sound marks the shift of hours. In narrow streets, the dampness on stone begins to dry in places. It does not disappear all at once. Patches remain. Others fade. The ground keeps its familiar texture. Along the river, the water reflects a softer tone from the sky. The surface moves gently. Small ripples pass without pattern. The banks remain empty. Boats stay tied in place. The watch completes its final rounds. Lamps are held lower. Steps slow. The night has passed without need for action. The routine ends as it began, quietly. In stables, animals shift their weight. Hooves scrape lightly against stone or packed earth. The sounds are low and brief. They do not carry far. In kitchens, the air is cool and still. Hearths remain dark. Ash lies undisturbed. The space waits without readiness. Morning work has not yet begun. Courtyards hold a pale hint of light. Shapes become easier to see. The outline of a column. The rim of a basin. The ground remains empty. In the forum, the wide space begins to separate from the darkness. Columns gain shape. The ground becomes visible in uneven tones. The space remains silent. Windows remain closed or open as they were before. No shutters move yet. Curtains hang without motion. The city does not stir. The sky continues its gradual shift. Colors remain muted. There is no brightness, only a slow change in shade. Some sleepers begin to rest less deeply. Breathing changes slightly. The body prepares without thought. Sleep does not end. It only lightens. In workshops, light touches doorways, but does not enter. Tools remain in shadow. Benches stand empty. Nothing has begun. The river sounds the same as before. It does not respond to the light. It continues its steady movement through the city. On rooftops, dew remains along the edges of tiles. The moisture catches faint light, then releases it. The surface stays still. Birds remain quiet. The air holds no calls. The city remains enclosed in calm. Time continues without mark. The night has not fully released its hold. Rome remains at rest, steady and unchanged as the hours move gently forward. The light continues to increase at a slow pace. It spreads without direction. It does not yet reach into every street. Some places remain dark longer than others. The city does not react. Inside homes, the quiet begins to change in small ways. A sleeper shifts position. A foot touches the floor, then pulls back under cover. Sleep loosens, but still holds. The air feels different now. Cooler in some places. Fresher near open windows. It carries the smell of stone and water. The night air has thinned. In narrow alleys, shapes become clearer. Walls show their worn surfaces. Cracks and marks appear again. The stones underfoot look the same as they did the day before. Courtyards receive more light than streets. Their open space allows the sky to show itself. The pale tone settles on stone floors and low walls. Nothing moves there yet. In the insulae, some upper rooms show signs of waking. A faint sound of movement. Fabric brushing against wood. A door, opening briefly, then closing again. These sounds do not travel far. The river reflects more of the sky now. Its surface shows a wider band of pale color. The movement of water breaks the reflection into pieces. The sound remains steady. The watch has withdrawn from the streets. Their lamps are no longer seen. The city is left to itself. The night duty ends without ceremony. In stables, animals lift their heads. They remain quiet. They wait. Their awareness grows without action. In kitchens, a door may open slightly. Cool air enters. The space remains dim. No fire is lit yet. Hands pause before beginning. The forum stands open to the light. The ground shows uneven tones. Columns stand clear against the sky. The space remains empty and still. Public buildings remain closed. Their doors stay shut. Steps remain unused. The night's quiet lingers in these places. In private homes, water is poured quietly. A cup touches a basin. The sound is soft. It does not disturb others who still sleep. The sky continues to lighten. Colors remain subdued. There is no warmth in the light yet. Only clarity. Birds begin to stir in small ways. A shift in branches. A brief movement of wings. No calls are made. The streets remain mostly empty. A single figure may pass, moving slowly. The sound of steps is measured. The city does not respond. Shadows shorten slightly. They lose some depth. Corners become visible again. The night recedes without hurry. In workshops, doors remain closed. Inside, tools wait where they were left. The space feels ready but unchanged. The baths are still silent. Pools remain cool. Stone floors hold the night's chill. No voices echo there. The river continues its path. It does not change pace. It does not pause. It carries the early light along its surface. In homes near the river, the smell of water is stronger. Windows may be opened a little wider. The air moves through rooms gently. The sky now holds a steady pale tone. Darkness has thinned but not vanished. The transition continues without signal. Sleep ends for some and continues for others. The city allows both. There is no single rhythm yet. The stones of the streets begin to lose their dampness. Dry patches spread. The surface becomes more familiar. In storage rooms, doors remain closed. Supplies rest undisturbed. Nothing is taken yet. Time moves forward without sound. The night has eased, but it has not fully gone. Rome remains quiet, balanced between rest and the slow approach of activity, holding its calm as the hours continue to pass.